Read with me from John chapter 15. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything I have learned from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command: love each other. This is the word of God for the people of God, and together we say, thanks be to God. The talk of vineyards and vines was not new to the disciples. In fact, throughout the entire Bible, there's over 200 mentions of vineyards and vines, about how the people of God is a luscious vineyard. I did some research, and what we're talking about today has stemmed from Isaiah 5. Jesus is addressing Israel, who is the vineyard, and as we all know, that doesn't really turn out right. Israel messes up constantly, asks for forgiveness and confesses, and it's just like a whole cycle. I looked at the gardener. The role of the gardener. It's extremely meticulous and very intentional. He walks the rows, row after row, time after time. He sees each branch and each vine multiple times a day. I mean, if you look in these pictures, I don't think one person could cover all that land. But there's a section of the vineyard that the gardener knows like the back of his hand. He walks those rows time after time, looking and taking care of the vine and the branches. The gardener provides direction for the nutrients to go. No nutrient in a well-manicured vineyard is wasted. As the branches pull from the vine, no nutrient is wasted in the pruning process. That there's so much time and so much care that goes into that process. And John 15 tells us that God is the gardener, and Jesus is the vine. Jesus is the source of life. Let me say that again. Jesus is the source of life. We are the branches. Jesus mentions numerous times in this passage, remain in me and I will remain in you. Jesus says that if we keep his commands, we will remain in him and bear much fruit. You see, our fruit comes from our source. And I bet the disciples, and maybe even the readers, you and I, are looking at this passage and saying, man, there's a lot of remain in me, abide in me, remain in this, and it kind of gets a little confusing. What does it mean to keep Jesus' commands? And better question, how do we do it? Well, to keep Jesus' commands is to bear fruit. To bear fruit, we must be connected to a life source. Jesus is our life source. The fruit that we bear comes from our source. And the last point. If our source is Jesus, the fruit that we bear is love. In verse 12, Jesus gives us a new command. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you.